Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube video, Little Practical Steps. It's me, Christine. I know it's been a minute, but it's been really hectic and busy since I posted my last video. You know, it's been half term, the sun is out, I have to keep my little girl entertained, and obviously family life, work life as well. So it's been absolutely hectic, but I'm here today and I'm really excited about what I'm going to share with all of you. And as you have seen the topic of this video when I said the do's and don'ts of setting healthy boundaries, I'm excited to share with you the list that I created for my own self, and I realized that, you know, it's quite good anyway, and I would like to share with all of you. And please just remember, you can always leave your comments in the comment section below to tell me what you think about, you know, my list. I'm confident in it and I hope you are too. But if you've set your own boundaries, how did it turn out for you with the people you set boundaries with, healthy boundaries? And if you're yet to set healthy boundaries, okay, so please leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll be so excited to read them, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my video, because as we're growing, I'm really appreciative of the growth, and I will continue to bring you guys more exciting contents. So let me get into the list of my do's and don'ts of creating, or setting actually, healthy boundaries. So one, when setting healthy boundaries, you have to have discipline and self-love. I put discipline and self-love together because sometimes discipline comes across as something very harsh, and when we think about it already, it's just like, oh, here we go, discipline. I'm not disciplined, I don't have any discipline. When you love yourself, you're able to set disciplines, you're able to accept the disciplines that you feel you need to set for yourself, and the things that you do for yourself is not because of punishment, but it's because of out of love that we set those things for ourselves. And when you're setting healthy boundaries, if you haven't set things for your own personal self, goals, and maybe your do's and don'ts personally, it's going to be hard for you when you set it for other people to do, and you can't even do it for yourself. We don't want to be hypocrites about it. And not just being a hypocrite, because sometimes I don't like that word, is that what you intend, what we miss out when we use the word hypocrite, is that we don't look deep within to see why we don't set things and allow people to follow through. We start to give in, we start to let our walls down, and we start to let people cross the boundaries, you know. So we have to look deep as to why not. I will try and cover some of those reasons while I give this share my list with you, but so far, number one is discipline and self-love is what you must have, and acknowledge it within yourself. Number two, you know that you have the right because it's for your own good. You have the right to set these boundaries because it's for your own good. Some people will make you feel like, who do you think you are to set those boundaries? You must think you're all that, you must think you're this or that. Do not let that happen. Set your boundaries, because you have the right to say what you accept and what you do not accept into your life. Life is you, and you're creating your own world as we grow, you know. We're forever changing, we're forever healing, and we are going to set those boundaries where we don't want things to reoccur more than once, because nobody out here's got time to waste, okay? Number three, know that you are worth the boundaries that you are setting. You are worth those boundaries. Whatever boundaries you've set or you're yet to set, just know that you are worth it. You are more than worth it, even, because you deserve the life you dream of, the life that you want. You deserve the healthy environment and friendships that you desire. It is possible to have those things in your life. Yes, life isn't a bed of roses. Not everything is perfect. We're all not perfect, but we can have at least to the point of perfection that we want in our lives, where you have healthy relationships with your peers, you have healthy relationships in the romantic relationship you're in, with your siblings, with your parents, you have those relationships with your managers at work. So many things trickle in life that we grow up and we become who we are, suffering from things we experienced when we were younger because we were scared to speak, obviously. And it could be our parents that did it to us. It could be the kind of relationship you had with your family. Maybe they would shout at you and you accepted it, and you grow up, people speak to you very rudely and you just accept it because you think that's how things are. Things are not like that. You are worth more than how people will talk to you. You are worth more than how people would embarrass you. And with people have just experienced embarrassment and think that's normal, it's not normal. So just know that when you don't want someone to speak to you in a certain way, please don't look at your past to set your future goals. Just continue to move forward, okay? We move. You are worth it. I just want to share that one, okay? And number 4, try not to feel sorry for the people you have set boundaries towards, especially towards their behavior. Don't feel sorry for them. You have more to lose than they do. If not everybody, because sometimes we could be the people without the self-control and we do things. I could actually overstep someone's boundary. You understand? I know. Hopefully when you speak to me, I'm able to apologize and, say sorry and learn from it and make sure that next time I don't do it. Okay. That's me personally, because I'm working on myself. I'm growing, I'm developing, and I'm loving it. So for you, don't feel sorry for the people. When you set boundaries, it's not your place to feel sorry for them, to say, oh, I wonder how that person's feeling because they used to doing things to me this way and now I've stopped it. It's not your place. Some people feel like that, and some people will be like, yes, you should not do that, and they're fine with it. Okay. But for those who feel sorry for people, please don't feel sorry for anybody when you set boundaries against their behavior or however they are towards you, and you want to see change. Don't feel sorry. You've got to stand firm, love yourself, be disciplined towards yourself and towards other people. If you're able to show yourself love and discipline, you're able to show it to other people. Okay. So that was number 4. Okay. Number 5, be discerning. Don't let people who you are setting the boundaries against guilt trip you. What I mean is that be discerning. Don't let them guilt trip you. In the instance when in number 4, when I said don't feel sorry for them, that's you exerting that emotions towards them. But number 5, when I'm saying don't let them guilt trip you, where you have to be discerning is you have to know when they're playing their games. You have to know why they're trying to guilt trip you. You have to be able to articulate that motion that they're setting to guilt trip you about the boundaries you've set. Ways that they can guilt trip you is to say things like, I love you, you mean the world to me, I want to come into your world, open the door, let me in. People do that to people, and you've set boundaries. Not that you've built a wall not to let people in. That's a different kind of emotion, and if you're dealing with something in that instance, we all need help. Get help for that. But what I mean is that when you've deliberately set boundaries and people are trying to talk you out of it and guilt trip you about what position they hold in your life, in a remote romantic relationship, it can happen, and in platonic friendship, it can happen. It can happen with a best friend. You're my bestie, so why can't you let me in? And sometimes they start to cause a fight for where you've drawn boundaries and where they can't overstep. They start to feel like, oh, why not? Say for example, they see that how you treat other people in your life to gain the respect that you deserve. And I say that you deserve because you deserve it. And friends could see that and they could be like, who does she think she is? So because they see other people respect you, they will deliberately disrespect you. Do you know what I mean? And when you say to the friend, why did you do that? Some people are like, oh, you're my best friend. I didn't think you'd be upset about that. It's like it's somebody else. It's me. You know how I am. No, do not accept it. Be discerning when people are trying to guilt trip you and, play mind games with when you're setting your boundaries. So that was number 5. Number 6 is do not worry about what people will say. Don't worry about what they're going to say when you set your boundaries. It's not your place to worry. It's also about feeling sorry for people. It's not your place to exert those emotions when you're setting boundaries. You want to make sure that what you're doing is firm, is effective, and you're getting results from the boundaries you set, because nobody wants to be played out here in this life. We're all growing and we're all learning, and it's not fair if you want to do that to someone else or those kind of people that do it to you as well. Okay. Do not worry about that. It's not your place to be worrying, to be feeling sorry for them. You just need to keep it moving. We move. Communicate your numbers. That was number 6. Okay. Now number 7, communicate clearly and effectively what boundaries you're setting towards whoever you're setting it to, or just in general. Be very clear in your communication. I know people say action speaks louder than words. And in your actions, if that's what you're going to use, because there are different ways of communication and actions are one of them. If that's what you're going to use, and someone approaches you and notice that you do certain thing a certain way, be very clear and effectively communicate why exactly you move like that. You know what I mean? Because people are like, I don't understand why that person move like that. They move funny. I don't know why I try to do this roadman talk. But when people ask you why you move the way you move, be very clear to explain and communicate exactly the reason why. For instance, if, say for example, you're in a place where people just start to gossip and slander someone else and you don't like it and you take yourself away from that situation, they will notice you've left. Believe you me, one person will approach you and say, why did you leave? I saw that you walked out. They want to hear why you left. If it's, whether you are for that person or you're not for that person, you just communicate, I left because I'm not in for that kind of talk. I don't want to sit around that kind of conversation. It's not my thing. So that's why I moved. You've communicated that effectively. They would really think about what you've said, the person or whoever will think about what you've said and respect that. Next time you're there, they will try to hold back. And you see the changes you can make in people also when you set healthy boundaries. It's very contagious when you start to set healthy boundaries. There are few people in my mind that I've seen the boundaries they've set in their marriages, in their relationships, that I admire up till this day. And I'm not calling any names, but kudos to you. One day I'll tell you face to face who you are as well, a few of you. There's set really good healthy boundaries and it's amazing. Anyway, but let me rant. So I've given you guys the do's of setting healthy boundaries. Now we're going over to the list of don'ts, things you shouldn't do when you're setting healthy boundaries. Do not be passive. What I mean by do not be passive is do not set boundaries and just let it slide. Like, okay, I set that boundary and people cross those boundaries and this is why I said you are worth it, and you feel like, well, anyway, if they who am I to set that kind of boundaries to someone or towards somebody else, And the thing is, when you love yourself and you would actually treat people how you want to be treated. That's just it. So when I mean by don't be passive is that when they cross that boundary, don't look at it as though, well, I mean, I'll probably do the same. No, you don't want to do that, okay? You want to set your boundaries and you want to be firm about the boundaries you've set, because in that instance, they will respect you. For instance, look at rules and regulations within a business. If you start to break the rules and they let everybody break the rules, maybe, you sign a contract and you have to be at work at a certain time and one person is late and they're like, oh, she's late once, who cares? And then, oh, who cares? I mean, I know I would be late anyway, so why am I going to give them problems about being late? You're going to see what's going to happen to those rules. It's going to go haywire, messy and everything. And that's the same principle when you set healthy boundaries. If you let people if you're passive about it and let people overstep and cross those boundaries and say things and do things, and they do it once, if they see they can get away with it the first time, trust me, there'll be a second, third, fourth, fifth, and it's going to be there for a lifetime. Do not ever believe that, sorry, that was number one of the don'ts. Number two of the don'ts, do not ever believe that boundaries have expiry dates. Boundaries do not have expiry dates. And like I said, if they cross it once, they cross it twice, they cross it forever. When people cross your boundaries, there's no expiry dates. So when you set your boundaries, there should not be any expiry date of the boundaries you set for yourself and towards things that you did not accept or things you do accept. It's not, it's not just the things you do not accept. There are also things that you accept, maybe in your romantic relationships, friendships, family ships, all those kind of relationships that we find ourselves in life as we grow and develop and build out and create our world and our space. Okay, do not think that there's any expiry dates. There is no expiry dates for the boundaries that we set. So don't let people make you feel that way, or don't even talk yourself into feeling that way, like, oh, I'm tired of setting this boundary and everything is changing, so why wouldn't I just let it just flow, let it just, when you get to a stage where things just don't flow, things are deliberate, and setting boundaries is one of those things. Okay, do not be hard on yourself when you set these boundaries. What I mean by do not be hard on yourself is don't feel like I'm setting these boundaries, I feel like, I'm too serious or I'm too this. Like I said, boundaries could be anything. It could be things you like and allow and things you do not allow. You can't literally set boundaries in every area of your life. It might get really heavy on you, and you would, push people away. So what I mean by do not be hard on yourself, when you have self-love, when you love yourself, you're not going to ever think about the things you like and the things you do not like towards people, and where you draw the line of where you can't go further or let people come any further in their words or actions towards you. You would not be hard on yourself because you love yourself, and to love yourself you will know yourself. Okay, so do not be hard on yourself. Number 4, do not be afraid of rejection. Do not be afraid of that. When you set your boundaries and you feel that people are going to go away, you're going to push people away. If these people love you and you have your boundaries set, believe you me, they will come closer. They would respect you. I've seen different scenarios where in certain relationships, people don't have any boundaries whatsoever. People walk in and out and just keep messing up things. And you feel like, we feel like to set boundaries means that we're going to show that person that we don't love them. We're going to show that person that, we are wary of them. No, when you're setting boundaries, it's from you. It's what you can tolerate and what you cannot, where people will cross the line of an area in your life, things they would say, how they would, just things like that. Do not be afraid of rejection. Best that they leave because you have boundaries set and they cannot cross those boundaries, rather than you having no boundaries and they mess up your life and your world and walk out. That's the worst. You don't want to put yourself in that situation, because with boundaries there would be more control. You would have more control. You have even more understanding as to why they left, which is easier, I would say, to digest, rather than not even understanding anything because you had no boundaries. And believe you me, the playing party can see when you have no boundaries. They can see that, and they will manipulate that position and that opportunity. They will manipulate it until you have nothing left, which is not fair. And this is why I thought I have to share this video. Create boundaries. Speak effectively about the things you want and the things you do not want. Do not leave gray areas in your communication with people when you are setting boundaries. Do not be like, yeah, whatever, or then just give this, vague option. Never give vague options. The only option is A and B, stay or go, like it or not. Not if you don't, and if you could like it, maybe. No. Be black and white about what you say. All right. Do not worry about what people will think. It's not your place to worry about what they think. It is not your place. I think I also have this point in what to do, and the do's and don'ts. Don't start worrying about, I think they're gonna think this. No, it's not your place. It's not your place. Do not think about that. Let it go. You set your boundaries, leave it. Like I said, also, don't be afraid of rejection. You've set your boundaries, whether they like it or not, that's what it is, And the moment you rise up to speak to people about things you do not like, I remember someone giving my information out and I did not care. I really approached a guy. This is a real scenario, and I told him straight. And he tried to do this. God is my witness. Bringing God into it. It did not faze me. Let's stick to the point. You always want to stick to it. Stick to the points. Don't ever diverse from it, or let people make you diverse when they start saying God, and because of this and that you start to feel like, oh my God, he's calling God. Oh my God, maybe. No. Okay. So do not worry about what people will say or think. Focus on you. Number 6, do not let others set your boundaries for you. People are capable of doing things like that. You'd be so surprised how this world we live in, what people are like. They will set those boundaries for you. They will tell you what you should accept. And when you tell them, I don't like it, they'll say, who are you not to like that? They will speak to you in a certain way. You say, don't speak to me like that. How dare, they will say, how dare you tell me not to speak to you like that? It happens. I've witnessed, maybe not personal, but through the eyes of others, so many places where people haven't set boundaries, that you get to a stage in life and then people would still have the power over you to speak to you in a certain way, to treat you in a certain way, because you haven't set any boundaries whatsoever. Don't feel that you will be more loved when you do not set boundaries, healthy boundaries. Don't feel like you will be more loved and accepted when you do not set healthy boundaries. I tell you this, the people who set healthy boundaries are more loved, more respected, honored, and have long-lasting relationships. They have more stands and more presence and power than people who set no boundaries whatsoever. To set your boundaries don't mean that you want to stand on a hilltop and be shouting, I like this and I don't like this. It's how you approach people. That ability to communicate with people without causing conflict at the end of it. Okay. And also sometimes setting boundaries can cause conflicts in friendships, where when you tell your friend and they, like, I gave the analogy of when you have boundaries with people, your friends can look in and see how people respect you, and they deliberately will walk in and disrespect you to bring those boundaries down, to make those people, let them know, the people I can talk to her however I want because I can. It's me. I'm her friend. No, don't let friendship, relationship, older sister, brother, siblings, even parents will speak to you a certain way to get to a certain stage and you think is acceptable in front of your friends, in front of your peers. They disrespect your friends, they disrespect you. That's just it. Boundaries need to be set. Don't ever feel like I'm going to be loved if I just let things flow. It's just the way it is. You laugh it off. Too much laughter, you start to see the wig and the red nose on people. You become a clown. You can't laugh at everything. It's not funny all the time, okay? Obviously, enjoy life, be free, and do what you need to do. Sometimes in romantic relationships, or maybe in just kind of different kind of relationships, even romantic relationships, you might set a boundary of having, if you're not married yet, I'll be honest to say so, because if you're in a marriage situation, engaged to be married, real serious courting relationships, and you understand each other, but what I'm talking about is if you are in a relationship and you say to someone, a guy or a person, don't call me at this time because this time is where I read my books, I take time out for myself. In this instance, you have your self-love, you have your discipline, you do things for yourself, and you've asked a person not to do a certain thing at a certain time because that's your time, and they will call you at that time and say, I'm just checking to see if you're okay, and you're like, but I told you not to call me at this time. Why? Well, I just, I love you, I care about you, I just wanted to know if you're okay. Obviously, yeah, I know you asked me to call you, but I just wanted to just check in, just checking in. That's the ego. And that's saying, who the hell are you to tell me what to do against your life? I will call you and I expect you will pick up the phone. People do that. A guy could touch you up, even in a relationship, he could touch you up somehow in public. I don't like it when you grab my bum like that. He does it again. Can you not do that? He does it again. It becomes an argument. Why can't I touch you? You're my girl. Are you looking at a next man? I told you this. It happens. Those are people whose ego would not allow them. The analogy of the friend that will see people respect you and decide to step up and disrespect you. Their ego. Those people do exist. And there are also people who exist where they really appreciate you and they really appreciate the boundaries you set, and they're even happier in relationships with their boundaries because it's easier to flow. You develop yourselves, because we develop ourselves before we can develop with other people. All right. And that's one thing I'm going to say. The next advice or something or word I would like to share with you is that we believe that when people steal things, what they steal is just physical things. They could steal your bag, your shoe, food, whatever. But we never realize the emotional things people steal from us when we do not set boundaries. It's like in your home. When you have your door, the front door locked, you have your camera in front of your house, you have the code to come in and out, you have keys for your front door. If you can protect your home in that way, you have to protect your emotional home, your emotional being, your space, your peace of mind. You want to protect that by setting healthy boundaries in relationships that we cultivate as we grow and develop as a man and woman. It's very important. You can set your boundaries with your family, with your friends, with your siblings, whether older or younger. The way you speak to your younger siblings, trust me, they're going to speak to you back the same way. The way your parents speak to you, trust me, your parents will speak to your friends like that because they don't respect you. They will speak to you like that in front of everyone. It's very important. Romantic relationship, if a guy can call you the B word, call you anything to your face inside, he will call you that outside. You've got to learn to nip things in the bud. They will steal your peace, your joy. That can be stolen. Your peace, your joy, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your state of mind, your confidence can be stolen. It can be stolen, and don't let people steal that. Protect your emotions the way you protect your home, and even more. The first little practical step is to create healthy boundaries. Okay, I hope this video has been very insightful and enlightening to You guys, thank you for watching up to this moment. I don't want it to go over like for 25 minutes. But thank you for watching. Please continue to share, subscribe, and like this video, please. And also leave your comments in the comment section below. If this is helpful to you, share your experience, share how helpful it is to you. And don't be afraid if you haven't set boundaries already. There's always time to change, to develop, and to set boundaries. Like I said, we're all learning. I'm still learning. I still talk to my friends about things they've done that I don't like before it escalates. When they've done it once is enough to say you don't like it. Don't wait for a second time, because that could be worse, okay? And don't be too hard on yourself. Love yourself first, and these things will follow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.